Hello, everybody that just joined us. Could you turn your cameras and your microphones on just briefly so that I know everybody is good to go?
There you go.
Hello, Anne. Oh, okay. Dale, can you just say hi so I can be sure that your mic works?
Oh, hello.
All right. Oh, is everybody coming back? I can't see what's going on here. Marnie, can you turn your camera on?
I would say keep using keychain.
And your microphone and just say hi?
But instead of setting it to
Oh,
I do.
never,
Review.
I would have put it to like 8
I'm here
hours.
now. You got me?
Okay.
Because you do want
Yeah, I can hear y'all. Okay, you can all mute
Good.
again. I just wanted to make sure that everybody is good to go for when the business meeting starts.
Oh,
We're
good.
going to
I'm
be
glad it
starting
hasn't
right
started.
away.
I'm not sure.
Okay,
It doesn't always work with this.
so you can mute again.
Because what
Okay,
you
thanks.
probably want is
Thank you.
this one to be longer. Like I would put for 3 hours. Because for this meeting,
No.
and then you just want to make sure you come back and change this, because the idea of this one
Amy,
is
when
that
do
if
we
you
bring
accidentally
everybody
lock it,
back so
yeah,
they can
you
hear
want
the
it locked,
conference?
right?
I think we've started. I don't know.
Because I don't
Troy,
know
are
if
you
they
there?
hear. I don't know if they hear in the breakout room the conference. Do they?
No, I don't. I don't even know when if they've started yet.
Okay. Yeah, they just turned their mic off
Yeah.
at the CEM conference.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Bulger. Could you turn your microphone on really quick just so I can be sure that your microphone works?
It's on, yes, now.
Sounds good, and you look good. Okay. So we're going to get started right away. And your congregation's all there. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Hello.
And what congregation do you belong to?
I'm delegate for Awakening Spirituality.
Okay. Can you add that and your last name,
Hello,
please?
everyone.
Hi, Mel.
How do I do that again?
Okay, I can.
Are
Can
you
you
all
put
set,
just
Troy?
can you just put quickly in the
Fantastic.
chat your full
right.
name and your congregation,
I
and
want
I
to
will change
open our
that for
session
you.
this afternoon
Okay.
with a hymn, which is going to be our opening prayer. So while you're singing these words, pay attention to what it is that we're singing, because the words to this hymn are rather appropriate for the place and time that we are at today. So it's number 360. 360. And we're going to sing verses 1, 3, and 4. 1, 3, and 4. We'll stand for this one.
I know. Is that sound okay? Good? All right. I know that within this room, there are a lot of needs and cares and concerns. And I appreciate that. But there is someone that is not here today because she's in hospital. She was supposed to be a delegate here, and that is our sister Twyla Glassford. Twyla has given permission to share that she is in hospital with a massive clot in her lung, and she has asked for our prayers. And so Ruth is going to come forward, Ruth Black, and offer a prayer on our behalf for our sister Twyla. And as she does that, I invite you to add your silent prayers. You can use that mic with me.
Can you hear me on that microphone? Is that okay? Okay. I'm going to ask if all of you would just join hands with the one beside you. Because I want this to be a communal prayer, a prayer that is coming from all of your hearts. So as we hold hands and we close our eyes and we take a deep breath together, let us pray. Holy One, gracious and wondrous Spirit of the divine, source of every blessing. In the stillness of this moment, we seek to be one in the Spirit. As together we give expression to our hope and our trust in your gentle Spirit. May that Spirit rest upon and bless Twyla in this, her time of need. May the warmth of your love and compassion bring her comfort, strength, and peace. May the hands, the experience, the wisdom, and the attentiveness of the doctors and caregivers around her be guided through each step of her care. May the blessing of your tender spirit help to calm her anxieties and serve to diminish her pain and discomfort and fears. As we hold her in our caring thoughts, may she hear the whisper of your voice saying, Twyla, you are my beloved. I am with you. I seek to bless you. Amen.
Thank you so much, Ruth. What an awesome community we are a part of that can come together and to hold up one among us in a time of need and to allow that spirit to become even more powerful. So thank you. My name is Mary Jean Belrose, and I'm the one that has the honor of welcoming each one of you to this mission conference. And on behalf of our president, of our Mission Center presidency team. And this is the first time that we've met at Ziontario for conference. So this is a little bit of a celebration, a little bit of a move forward. Yeah, you can clap. Yeah. This is awesome. Thank you. And it's wonderful to see so many people come and be together in this place. And, you know, the weekend is just half over, and we've had a chance to interact with each other and to further build on our relationships with each other. And so that's awesome. I want to share with you a poem that is written by Monica Jacobson Tennyson. She says, who you are enriches us all. Welcome. What you bring, who you are, enriches us all. We say, welcome. Welcome to your joy, your hope, your pride. We say welcome to your grief, your fear, your anger, and the parts of you that are not yet ready to be seen and heard. Welcome to them as well. For we are people of faith. Faith in our expansive welcome, faith in our ability to grow, faith in the precious gift of our truths, faith in the promise of trying, learning, changing. Let me say that part again. Faith in the promise of trying, learning, changing. Faith in our capacity to know ourselves and each other very deeply. Welcome to you who are gay, straight, bi, pan, lesbian, queer, questioning, unable to be contained in any word. Welcome to you who are trans, cis, genderqueer, non-binary, intersex, agender, beyond words. Welcome to you who are human. Welcome to you who love and are loved. Welcome to you who are blessed, which is, by the way, all of you. May this time together be a blessing. There is in this place a lot of possibility. Can you feel it? Can you sense it? I'm not hearing anything. Oh, good. So greetings to everyone who is here in this sacred place that we call Ziontario, and greetings to those who are joining us online as well. Together, we embody the church. We are the people striving to live in mutual, self-giving, other-affirming, loving community. Thank you for your presence, because to me, that signifies your commitment and investment in Canada East Mission and in Community of Christ. So we hope that you'll feel at home. Try it again. And that you'll feel loved and connected through this weekend. We have about 120 people here with us this afternoon, gathered in person, and about 50 people or so joining online via Zoom, and about 10 observers that we know of on the live stream as well. So I would like for you to just take a moment to acknowledge each other. Just to say a silent thank you for each other. Can you wave to the people across the room from you? Wave to the people behind you or in front of you. And wave to those online. Yes. Awesome. We're fortunate here this weekend to have some special guests with us. So Sam Smalden, our Bishop of Canada, is here. Yay. All the way from Calgary. And our apostles, Shannon McAdam from Port Coquitlam and Locke Mackay from Independence, Missouri. So I'd like to invite Shannon and or Locke, if you'd like to offer a few words of greetings, please.
Is it okay if I take this out of here? And I use it. Come up here with me. Well, friends, thank you so much for having us here. Thanks for the hospitality that you've shown us already, making our beds and feeding us and making sure we're taken care of. It is truly a pleasure to be with all of you and with all of you online as well. We bring greetings from our colleagues in the Council of 12 Apostles and the First Presidency, Janae Grover in particular, who some of you met at Naranto this summer, sends her prayers of support and goodwill to all of you. And we bring warm greetings from your presidents of 70, Karen Peter and Joelle White. They are all remembering you as you join in conference this weekend. We are living into a new way of shared leadership as apostles. And so it's really a delight for Locke and I to be here together with you. In spite of being together in a lot of meetings in person, this is our first time traveling together to a place. So you guys get to experience that. We've been all over our field with your brothers and sisters in your field, Australia, a lot of places in Canada, Dunfield House, Germany, the United States, many places. So it's really lovely to be here in Canada together.
In addition to there being a new field configuration, we have a new way of working together in the Council of 12. In years past, the larger council was also broken down into a USA team and a multi-nations team. Everybody else. We now instead have a team focused on places where the church is growing quickly, primarily the global south, and a team focused on supporting the church in the global north, plus Australia and New Zealand. This is allowing those of us working in places that have quickly secularized in recent decades to share learnings more easily. And it's facilitating the flow of ideas pioneered here in Canada and other places outside of the US. We're able to share those more quickly across the global north. This new model enables us to truly experience the blessings of community. And I have already been blessed with my time with you. I have a number of ideas that I'm going to steal and take with me home. And I am incredibly excited about not just what I've experienced so far, but what we have left to experience together in the next 24 hours. So,
Onward.
Thank you. We're truly blessed to have you with us. So over the course of the weekend, you're going to have opportunity to get to know them better. And I hope you'll introduce yourself and take it. Oh, airplane mode. Right. Give me one second. Oh, maybe you can do that. Mm. Okay. Switch share. Sorry about that. Should have known. Our parliamentarian for the conference is Daryl Kennedy. Daryl is not present in the room with us, but he is online. And we're always grateful for Daryl's wisdom and his training and all his knowledge around Robert's Rules of Order. They're really incredibly important when we're trying to do the business of the church and trying to make the meeting fair for everyone to participate. And I want to also thank Troy and his tech team. As always, we are so incredibly grateful to them. Peter Williams is helping, Jeannie Jacobson, Jeannie's in Saskatoon or nearby Saskatoon. Susan Trimble is helping with the speaking queue, I believe, online or on Zoom. And Joy Green is here with us as well. She's going to help with the counting of the votes. And did I miss somebody? No, I think I got them all. So each one of those people plays a really vital role in helping out with the flow of the conference. So we're incredibly grateful. And if you see Troy at his station, for those of you who are just coming in, we announced this already before, but if you see Troy at his station, he's busy working on the tech stuff. So please, if you want to have a chat with him, wait until he comes out of his office, out from around that table. And when we've got free time in between meetings and things, he's perfectly available for chats and such, but he's focused. And so we don't want him to lose his focus. I want to thank everyone who came to or participated in the pre-legislative sessions and in the common consent session this morning. We hope that those sessions were helpful for you in preparing for today's business. I also want to say thank you to all those who made donations for Flesherton, for the public school, McPhail Public School. The hats, the mittens, the socks, and the underwear, and I see scarves and a few other things up there. They're fantastic. What a great, awesome bunch of donations that we're going to be able to make. And I know that some congregations got involved. I think Bridges was one of those at least, and brought in a couple boxes full of things. We had somebody who knit like crazy as soon as they found out about this service project that we had planned. So thank you. I have just a few announcements and housekeeping kinds of things that I want to just bring to your attention. So the Zoom connection, this is a hybrid meeting. And so if the Zoom host is disconnected, please hold on. And if you're online, please hold on while we reconnect. You might have to relaunch your Zoom, so hang in there. If we cannot reconnect, the conference will continue with those who are in person. So if you are online and you personally lose the connection, restart your device and rejoin. As a last resort, you can dial in by phone for audio, and I'm going to ask Jeannie if she would post that information in the chats for you. There will be a meeting ID and a meeting number. There's two numbers there that you're going to need. So you may want to jot that information down so that if you get disconnected, you can at least reconnect audibly. Our legislative session is being recorded on Zoom. That is just for our minutes so that we make sure that we get our minutes accurate. The recording will not be shared publicly. And a YouTube live stream is available thanks to the Woodfield congregation. We're using their channel. And so oh, sorry, we're not corrected. It's the Canada Mission YouTube. And so those who are there will not have voice or vote, but they will be able to observe the conference. And that recording will not be made public either. So voting procedures. Delegates and ex officio on Zoom will vote using the Zoom poll feature. We're going to go through this, so don't worry. Those who are in person, we have voting cards, and you will need to have your card available. When we take a vote, we're asking you to please hold your card up until we ask, or until we notify you that it's okay to lower your hands. We want to make sure that we get all the votes counted. We're going to take the Zoom votes first, and then we will take the in-person votes. And we're going to have an opportunity to practice that, so don't worry. Our conference booklets were prepared by the communications team, and have you noticed they've upped it a notch or two? And so it looks really beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the work. I think John did a lot. I'm not sure who else, Jeannie and well, I think it's up a notch, but anyway. So there is there's a full version of the conference booklet available online that has all of the reports in it. And there is an express program that is in color online. And then there is a printer-friendly version as well. So the shorter ones are just meant so that you could save paper and not have to print everything. So I want to draw your attention to a few documents that are really important for this meeting. First of all, the standing rules for a hybrid conference will become effective upon adoption. And those standing rules are on pages 13 and 14 of your Express booklet. Our bylaws did somehow escape getting published into the booklet. We do have some copies available. Peter has the extra copies. So if you would like to review those, just put up your hand and Peter will pass those out. We also have provisions for online conferences, and I think there's a few copies around if that's needed as well. Those are our guides. And I want to also draw your attention to the document called We Commit. It's on page 36 in the full document. And these are important points about how we conduct ourselves in our meeting. Things like how we treat each other with respect, compassion, kindness, how we keep an open mind, willing to consider and evaluate all the viewpoints, even if it's something that's outside of our comfort zone, and seeking divine guidance on everything, everything. When it comes to participating in the conference, we're going to use a queue system to give equitable access to those online and in person. And I think Troy is going to go through that queue process, correct? So you'll need to speak slowly, clearly, and concisely, as well as respectfully when you're addressing the conference, please. Online delegates and ex officio, please make sure, well, for everyone, please make sure that you identify yourself and your congregation. And for those of you who are online, if it's possible, please turn on your camera so that we can see you, and make sure that your name and congregation are visible on your video and correct. So if you're online, you only use the raise hand feature for parliamentary priority actions, such as a point of order or a privilege. And that will draw the attention of the chair to pause and to wait for the action to be entered into the queue. Okay? So if you want to speak to a motion, you'll need to get your name into the queue. If you have a point of order or a privilege, that's when you use the raise hand feature. So if you're in person, you'll need to wear your name tag and approach the queue steward. And I believe that's Peter. Okay, Peter. And Peter will register you into the queue. For online delegates, when you're recognized by the chair, please make sure that you ask, "Can you hear me?" That's important. And then state your name and your congregation. Closed captions are available online also if you need it. Okay, I'm going to now invite Victoria Pedersen from Wabash to come forward and lead us in our land acknowledgement. Before she starts that, I'm going to ask you to stand. You stand. Take in a deep breath. And feel your feet on the ground that supports you. Victoria.
We begin the 2025 CEM conference by acknowledging that we are on Aboriginal land that has been inhabited by Indigenous peoples from the beginning. As settlers, we are grateful for the opportunity to meet, and we thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Long before today, as we gather here, there have been Aboriginal peoples who have been the stewards of this place. In particular, we acknowledge the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, Ojibwe, Chippewa, and Anishinaabe. This territory is covered by the Upper Canada Treaties. We recognize and deeply appreciate their historic connection to this place. We also recognize the contributions of the Métis, Inuit, and other Indigenous peoples have made, both in shaping and strengthening this community, in particular, and our province and country as a whole.
Thank you. I invite you now to participate in a brief meditation to help set our intention for this meeting. And while you're preparing to see this video, I want you to just think about a few questions. When have you been nudged by the Spirit? What has God been stirring in you? How have blessings flowed when you have responded to the holy nudge? Troy? Let the Spirit Breathe is is the name of that video that you just watched. And you can find that on missionalleaders.org. If you haven't visited that website, I highly recommend it. missionalleaders.org. And I'm going to turn things over now to Vonda.
Thank you, Mary Jean. So my name is Vonda Denboer, and I know a lot of you, and I'm not sure who all is online, but welcome to each and every one of you. This conference is a pivotal moment in our history. At our historic conference in June, our prophet president asked us to embrace hope and strive onward. And so I want to share a scripture that is meaningful to me as we start. Lift up your eyes and fix them on the place beyond the horizon to which you were sent. Journey in trust, assured that the great and marvelous work is for this time and all time. And isn't it interesting? That's the hymn that we sang this morning. Yeah. So, this is a business meeting, and there are important things that we do at a business meeting, but one of the most important things I think we need to remember is that we are a diverse group of people called to be disciples. And today, we invite you to embrace your diversity. We may share different opinions, different ideas, and all of them are important. And I hope that we are able to respect and honor everyone's voice on this day. Whether we agree or not, we are called to walk side by side onward together in joy. So, I now call our 22nd annual conference of the Canada East Mission Center to order. And the time that I have is 2:14. There's a summary on screen of what we are about to do, but we did promise that we were going to let you try voting and work through that process. And so before we start, I'm going to invite us, Troy, to do a technology check and test our poll everywhere. So if you were online, no, not ready. Oh, did I say poll everywhere? I apologize. That's not what it says in my notes, but apparently that's what I said. So I do apologize. Grace. We need grace. Zoom online feature is what we're using online. And in person, we have yellow cards. So, are we ready online? Okay. So online, you should have a question that is, are you attending conference for the first time? And if you will put your response in. Those of you in person, and I encourage, if you are a delegate or ex officio, come towards the front of the room, because when we're counting votes, we may miss people sitting at tables at the back, okay? If you are attending conference for the first time, I wish I had changed this, but that's the question we used last year, so. We did change it, okay. What is the question? It's not on my screen. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, I like that question better. Did you attend a Community of Christ camp this summer? That's the question. So that should be the question on Zoom. And those of you present, please raise your card if you attended a camp this summer. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Do we want to practice counting? No. Okay. You can put your card down. Oh, yes, we do. Please put your cards back up. And Troy, can I close the poll online? Okay. So the poll online is closing in 3, 2, and 1. You're getting your exercise today. There you go. Is the count done? Can they put their arms down? Thank you. All right. Those who have not attended a camp this summer, please raise your hand. And you can put your hands down. Because we are hybrid, and I apologize that some of you don't have a card. We will resolve that in a few moments. No. We will be showing the results in a few moments. It does take a little extra time with a hybrid to do the work behind the scenes to be able to calculate the votes, and here they are now. Peter, I'm going to ask one more question because people that don't have a voting card but are on the credential list that we will be addressing, if you attended a camp, no, if you attended a camp this summer, I know there's some of you here, please raise your hand now. No, no. These individuals will be raising their hands, not a card, okay?
No, not yet. Not
We've always done that.
Oh, you do?
Okay. Thank you. All right. Now, at this time, we will be moving to the credential report. And as we indicated at the pre-legislative session, we are dealing with the names of individuals that were not received by the 2-week deadline, which is our bylaw. So Troy at this time is going to move the individual on Zoom into a waiting room. And the individuals in the room who are on that list but have not received a card will not receive a card until we go through the next few steps. Okay? So at this point, I would entertain a motion either on Zoom or in person, and I've lost my thing there, for a motion to move the credentials report. I see Roger Dodson and I see a second. So the credentials report, Melissa will walk us through that report. Use that one. Yeah. Face them. Yes.
Yeah. Just trying to make it less work.
The mic is positioned that way, so you're facing the chair and the camera picks you up for online, so.
So if I stand like, can everybody, can I turn it?
Face the mic.
I know, but I wanted to address the crowd. Okay, let's do it this way.
Because they can see you.
Yeah, okay. So for the credentials and ex officio list, if there is a strike through on a name, that is because they have chosen to be, if they're on the ex officio and there's a strike through, they have chosen to be a delegate or they are a part of the leadership team listed at top, and we didn't want to count them twice. So the strike through, they are counted appropriately. And what we're going to do is go through the list of delegates by congregation in person with the strike offs or the remove the names. And then I'll go through the online people that will give the body the understanding of who is participating either in person or online. And then that's what we're going to do. So starting with Amherst, can tell that that's my favorite rock. Anyways, for Awakening Spirituality, in person, Sue Waite Price. Barry, in person, these are all in person. Barry, Catherine Manson, remove Mel Roach. Cambridge would be Brittany Bartlett, Berlin Rowett, Devin Bartlett. Chatham, Sheila Moore Spanos. Corinth, Nancy Bear. Grand Valley, Deborah Whitworth, Jan Kostleg, Del Franks, Diane Franks. Guelph, Pat Lewis, and Sharon, I'm going to mess up names, Jellin, sorry. Kitchener, David Snell, Joan Thompson, Carmen Thompson, Mary Lou Snell. LaSalle Road, Lori Moutre, Melissa Freer. Remove Barry White and Wayne Freer. Ottawa, Joy Green, Carol Shepherdson, Lou Shepherdson. Port Elgin, Josephine Fraser Morgan. Proton, Port Elgin, Josephine, and Wendell Martin. Proton, Ron Dow, Isabel Franks. Remove Harold Arnold. Providence Bay, Marlene Moore, Lyle Dewar. Reaching Out, Shannon Daly. Scarborough, Peter Williams. Sharing Love and Mission, Margie Lamore. St. Thomas, Todd Millard, Avery Millard, Madison Watt, Michelle Dale. Stratford, Elizabeth Cool, Dan Hansen, Scott Huffman, Carol Smith, Bev Huffman, Scott Brookshaw, Carol Heathers, Nancy Brookshaw. Toronto, Kay Dodson, Leandro Palios, Mark Shannon, Noel Gafka. Wabash, remove Daryl Hannigan, remove Willie Malott. Riley Malott, Jennifer Peterson, Victoria Peterson. Windsor, Susan Abbey. Remove Sarah Glassford, Twyla Glassford. Woodfield, Steve Northey. Carol Rowbottom. Remove Wayne Stronghill, Beth Chapman, and Derek Woolsey. And non-resident, remove Wendy Robson. For online, Awakening, Ann Hughes,
Blenheim, Wendy Batter, Hazel McDonald, Bridges, Len Fleur, Susan Trimble, Hank Bates, Chatham, Donna Shearer, Nancy Melnick, Doug Leffman, Daryl Baker, Corinth, Rob Brooks, Canada, Mark Chauvin, Anakin Chauvin, LaSalle Road, Bill Reed, Kathy McGregor, Lowbanks, Pat Jacoby, New Liskard, Claire Shepherdson, Francis Shepherdson, Kent Fielder, North Bay, Karen Hewitt, Dave Wilkinson, Ottawa, Wanda White, Ernie Cohen, Broughton, Wayne McLean, Reaching Out, Ken Avery, Vivian Beeching, Scarborough, Dale Adamson, St. Thomas, Beth Beecroft, Don Millard, Toronto, Marnie Fisher, Vicky Thatcher, Wabash, Rebecca Peterson, Elaine Jakes, Merv Jakes, Woodfield, Scott Shear, Chuck Boyd. And for the ex officios, in person, Shannon McAdam, Lack Mackay, Bonda Denbor, Dawn Dawson, Mary Jean Belrose, Sam Smalden, Pat Pallister. Remove John Glazer. Amherstburg, remove Robert Wismer, Darwin Wismer, Don Jones. Awakening Spirituality, remove Carol Marie Groen, Audrey Causeway, Carrie Richards. Barry, remove James Poirier. And in person, Troy's here. Bridges, remove Chris McCurdy. Cambridge, Sandra LaRose. Corinth, remove Tim Stanlick. Grand Valley, remove Roy Hillis. Guelph, remove John Rowe, Marion Smith. Canada, remove Diane Galbraith and Larry Galbraith. Kitchener, remove Jeremy Smith. LaSalle, remove Carol Manley. Lowbanks, remove Marilyn Graham. Montreal, remove Albert Arsenius. North Bay, remove Donald Aerosmith. Ottawa, remove Barb Kernahan and Pam Mooney. For Scarborough, remove Kathy Baker. Sharing Love and Mission, remove Mary Robb. Stratford, remove Bill Leaney. Toronto, remove Pam Luke. Wabash, remove Matt Swain. Wyerton, remove, oh, never mind, she's here. My apologies. Oh, wait, Janice Sims, she's here?
Yeah.
She did not get highlighted, my apologies. Windsor, remove Carson Emerson and Henry Planky. Woodfield, remove Paul Fitzgerald, John Nichols. CEM General, remove Howard Clifford and Bev Moore. And CEM non-resident, remove Robert Hutchinson. Hamilton, remove Susan Hare. Minettville, remove Dwight Fryer, Heather Fryer. Owen Sound, remove Robert Goodwill. Gathering Place, remove Dolores McCormick. And Willow, remove Rick Lefevre, John Morgan, and Eileen John Morgan. For the ex officios, the ones that are online will oh, I think I messed up my system. Those were the removes. I forgot the in-persons. The in-person for ex officio, Kitchener, John Black, Ruth Black, James Brown. Lowbanks, Deb Weaver. Toronto, John Hamer, Roger Dodson. Janice Sims, Larry Porter, and Linda Porter. And in person for Woodfield is Ron Rowbottom, Gathering Place, Bryce Taylor, and Alfredo Zaleas. And there's a couple online, and then we're done. Parliamentarian is Daryl Kennedy, so he's online. For Chatham, Dorothy Lethbridge and John Shear are online. Corinth, Cheryl Brooks is online. North Bay, Doug Bolger Sr., Ottawa, Martin Turnan, Sharing Love and Mission, Don Robb, Toronto, Becky Savage, Wyerton, Larry Porter and Linda Porter, Woodfield, Ann Mitchell, and CEM non-resident is Ken Barrows. And that handles everything but those few delegates outside.
Okay, thank you.
I'll give you the count at the total. I've got the total count.
All right. The chair recognizes Don Dawson from Providence Bay with a motion to suspend the rules.
This is Don Dawson of Providence Bay. Whereas the CEM conference bylaw requires that all delegate and alternative lists from congregations be received no later than 2 weeks prior to any conference, and whereas the 2025 CEM Center Conference has been scheduled this year earlier than usual, and whereas such lists from congregations have arrived after the required deadline, may it be resolved that the rules be suspended to consider a motion which deals with the list of delegates and alternatives received after September the 6th, 2025.
Thank you. Is there a second? I see a second. This is not debatable nor amendable and requires a 2/3 vote. So if Troy can prepare the Zoom poll, not poll everywhere, online, those who have a yellow card are able to vote. The question is whether you are voting to suspend the rules. Let me know when you're ready, Troy. With the question to suspend the rules, we should have that in Zoom.
Question online.
The question that I saw was not that question. This is one of those moments where we need to extend our patience. Okay, so the poll is launched online, and what we are asking, are you in agreement with suspending the rules? In person, if you are in agreement with suspending the rules, please raise your voting card and keep them raised until I tell you not to. Okay, thank you. You may lower your hands. Those who are not supporting suspending the rules, raise your voting card now. Thank you. And the poll online is now closed, and we'll just wait for the results. I need a mirror. The motion has passed. The chair now recognizes Mary Jean Belrose with a motion to amend. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. Melissa, would you read those names that are now yes. Yes, you can make a correction, and then if you would add the names of the individuals at this time.
Because the online deciphering is tricky, somebody else had joined should have been on the first credential reading, which is Toronto, Kevin Thompson. Kevin Thompson has been added, so I'll adjust that. For the names on this motion, add to Lowbanks. These are all the in-person, and then there's one online. So in-person for Lowbanks is Kathy Swain and Cheryl Swain. Hamilton had Rex Smith, but we need to remove him. Minnettville, Gary Whitworth. North Bay, oh, my apologies, that's online. So Owen Sound, Kathy Atkinson, Martha Tettenborn. Gathering Place, Tiona Taylor, Lynn Taylor, and Willow Soraya Boeve Middleton. Online participating for delegates, North Bay is Laura McKinnon, and Gathering Place, Mercedes Zelaya.
Okay.
Do you want the total number?
The total number, yes, I do need that.
So delegates in person and online. Delegates in person 53. Online is 36. Ex officio in person is 30. Online is 14. I will make sure I have a very good count because we have the master, and I can make that correction and submit it to you.
Thank you, Melissa. I know that has been challenging for you. The chair now recognizes. Not yet. The chair recognizes Mary Jean Belrose with a motion to amend.
Mary Jean Belrose, Awakening Spirituality. I move that the names of the delegates and alternates received after the deadline be incorporated into the credentials report as approved, delegates and alternates.
Thank you. Do we have a second? We have a second. The chair believes that we are ready to vote on this. So if you can launch the Zoom poll online to approve the credential report as amended. Okay. So what we will be asking you here in person is whether you are in support of the credential report as amended with the additional names. Is the Zoom poll launched? Those in favor, please raise your cards. and keep them raised for a moment or two. Thank you. You may lower your hands. Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. The polls online are now closed, and we'll wait for the results. The motion has passed. Thank you. This was cumbersome, but necessary to ensure that we're actually following our bylaws. Melissa will hand out the yellow cards to those individuals whose names were called that are here in person, and Troy is going to pull the people that we put into a waiting room back into the Zoom session. So if you want to stand up and move around a little bit, that's going to take us a couple of minutes. Soraya? Okay, thank you.
Robert's rules on my computer.
Okay. How do we do, Daryl? What's that? Yeah. I think I lost him.
Yeah, you have to number the fields. Yeah. So could he speak to the motion like he is making directly after it's seconded, or does he have to get in the room? No. Oh, okay, sorry. No, you're right.
And then I'll ask if you want to speak to it. Yep. Can you hear me? I must have lost the call somewhere. How did we do? All right. Oh, cumbersome was that, but anyhow, okay. So. It was very confusing. Yes. I agree. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Everybody here is quite happy that it's passed, so. Yeah. Okay, all right. Let me call the roll.
I have been pressing the button.
Oh, yeah, 'cause that was happening there.
Yeah, yeah. Now I see. All right, no, I was not.
Yeah.
This will be the worst.
That's right.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Them going back to the room to get my jacket.
Yep, yep. I. Okay, I'm going to call you back. Yeah. No, no, no. Okay, yeah. Yes, yeah. We lost connection. Okay, let's come back into session.
I've got on here, motion to adopt standing orders, right? Standing rules?
Okay,
Okay.
all right. I thank you for your patience through that process. I think one of the things that maybe illustrates is how complex that credential report is, and how difficult it is to work with things coming in late. So we wanted to make sure, though, that there was no question as to whether people should be able to vote at this conference. I get that in my, I'm hearing myself on there. So now is a time to look at the standing rules. And they govern how we conduct our meeting. We have used these standing rules for about 3 conferences now. And so you should be familiar with them. They were in your booklet. I did approach the individuals on the Standing Rules Committee and ask them to please review as to whether or not they felt any changes were necessary, and they did not feel there were changes necessary. So perhaps to expedite, without objection, I will declare those standing rules approved. Is there an objection? You see online? Seeing no objection, we will move on. Thank you. I think the next thing on our list is the approval of the agenda. I wonder if you would give me grace to do the same thing. Without objection, can we declare the agenda approved? Can you tell me if there's any objection? And I'm not seeing an objection, so we will move on. Thank you. At this time, a motion would be in order to approve the conference officers, and that is found on page, well, I have written down it's page 6 of the agenda. It's not my page 6, but I hope it is yours. Would someone move the motion? I recognize Lori Moutre to move the motion. No. Okay. Is there a second? I see a second. Thank you. The motion is on screen, I hope. Yes. Okay. Would you like me to read the motion? All right. I think we're ready to vote. So go ahead and launch the Zoom poll to approve the conference officers. Those in favor here in person, please raise your voting card. You may lower your hands. Opposed, same sign. The polls are closed online. The motion has passed. Okay, thank you. Next is on the agenda is the minutes. The minutes were posted a couple of weeks ago online. So once again, without objection, we're not going to read them unless someone wants them read. Okay. Is there someone that would move the approval of the minutes of the October 26, 2024 CEM conference? I recognize Kathy Swain. Is there a second? Yes, I see a second. Yes. Are there any corrections? I don't know what pages they are, as you can see on screen. I put XX. But you've had an opportunity to read them. Were there any corrections? Way to go, Pat. Sorry. Page 31 is where they start. Okay. I'm not seeing any movement for corrections. The chair believes then we are ready to vote on the approval of the minutes. You can launch the poll online on Zoom. Thank you. Those in favor of approving the minutes of the October 26th meeting, please raise your device, your yellow card. It's an old-fashioned device. Thank you. You can lower your hands. Those opposed, same sign. And the polls on Zoom are closed. Here is how you voted. But I can let you in on a secret. It passed. Okay, 100%. Well done. Patricia, you did well. Everyone's name is spelled correctly. Thank you. And the chair is relinquished to President Don Dawson.
At this time in our agenda, we're going to have the disciples' generous response. God's generosity is always about maximums and minimums. God's abundant generosity comes from fullness, not incompleteness. Generosity is all about an overflowing gift. Generosity always enriches, multiplies, and expands our lives. It makes us more than we were and gives us more than we ever thought we could. It adds to our lives. It never subtracts. Because abundant generosity is a very spirit of Jesus, it always gives birth to joy, hope, love, and peace. Generosity is the power and life of God made manifest by us. The power of generosity transforms all those willing to receive and give. This year, we are also thrilled to acknowledge the living expression of missional activity as we accept that all those that have participated in the giving of toques, socks, mitts, underwear, and it's just wonderful that our tree is full here. Everything was donated through your generosity to children in need at McPhail Memorial Elementary School in Flesherton. This is the expression of the mission of the Spirit of you. Through you, touching lives you may never meet, but whom will be blessed by your willingness to share. Let us. Gracious God, we come to you with thanks for the offering of goods we have received. The items of mittens, toques, socks, and underwear. We ask for care and strength for those families, parents, grandparents, caregivers of all kinds, and children which struggle in this world to find the means to make their world work peacefully. We acknowledge the worth of all persons and understand we are each your beloved. We pray that these small gifts given in love and respect may ease their minds and bring a peaceful reassurance that they are loved. We are united by the grace that you have given. Amen. We'll now receive an offering. As we bring our offering forward, we ask for Sam to come forward, give a blessing on the offerings.
email would be if we wanted to make an online donation at this particular point.
It's attached to the wall with the white piece of paper with green, sorry. Yes. There's a white piece of paper attached to the wall with green tape, I believe, that has an email address. That is the email address to send to.
Are we ready? Okay, pray with me, please. Our most gracious Heavenly Creator, we are very thankful for the bounty that we have, both in the environment, in our lives, and we always recognize how fortunate we are that we're able to be generous and to give back. Please accept these offerings on behalf of everyone here, and may they do your work. Amen.
Okay. And at this time, what I'd like to do now is to consider the finances. And what we want to call this part of the program is Fun with Numbers with Sam. So Sam would like to come. Yeah.
Thank you. You saved me having to present that joke, so. But I mean it not totally in jest. Finances and audits and things get a bad name sometimes, so I'm just trying to rebrand it a little bit. So accept that as a little bit of levity for what is otherwise very serious and important aspects of our work. So on behalf of the Mission Center President team and as your Mission Center Finance Officer, I will be moving 3 motions, and then we will have discussion, and then I will call for the question at the end of it. So that's the intention to proceed. The 3 motions are listed under 5.1, 5.2, and 5.3, and I will go through each individually. So 5.1 is for consideration of the audit report for 2024, and that is in your express report on pages 20 through 30. And the audit report opinion is on page 22. And I will move that resolve that the auditor's report on the Canadian East Mission operating account and various funds for 2024 be approved. And that is the motion before us at this time. I can indicate to you that the audit is a clean report, a good report, in other words, and that certainly it has been prepared with a lot of work by our staff, which is Heather Huffman and Hamanpreet Kaur. So I'd like to give a lot of recognition to them.
Okay.
Yes, Don.
So we have a motion on the floor to resolve the auditor's report. Do I have a second? We have a second.
Okay. So with the report on those pages in Appendix A, I think in the Express package, it's page 20 through 20 or 30, if there are any questions on that report. Okay. Anyone online?
No,
Okay.
doesn't look like it.
Hearing none, I will call for the vote then. All in favor of,
We'll go with the Zoom first. If you can
Okay.
launch the Zoom question, the auditor's approval of audit report is now on Zoom.
okay. And we'll call for the question for the motion. All in favor, raise your card. I'll ask for the counters too. I have heard that it's healthy to raise your hands over your shoulders at least once a day. It's not? Oh, okay. Then I stand corrected, so. That's okay.
Okay, you may lower your hands. Anyone opposed? Okay, and now we'll wait for the results to come in. Pardon? All online, excuse me. And now we have it, and it is passed. The auditor's report has now passed.
Okay, thank you. And if you allow me, I can be referred to as somebody who likes to talk about a particular number. I would like to draw your attention to note 6 in the auditor's report that has an amount of $50,000 that has to be allocated to the Canada East campgrounds that has come from the sale of the church in Victoria, BC. So I would like to acknowledge them at this time and acknowledge that that is awaiting to come to your campgrounds before the end of December. So I just wanted to make that announcement and let you know in good faith that money has come from the Victoria sale of their church, and they gave money to each campground in Canada. So we thank them for being generous. The next motion I'd like to move is that the firm RLB LLP be appointed as auditors for 2025.
Do we have a second to this motion? We have a second.
Okay. And the comment here is that the firm RLB LLP was your auditor in 2024, and we purposely do not appoint the auditor for the following year until after we reviewed the audit for the current year that they're reviewing, so that we keep those decisions separate. I would also like to highlight that the board had us go to the market, as it's called, with an RFP to ensure that we have auditors that have fresh eyes and independence. And that occurred last summer, and RLB LLP was a successful firm. So they will continue to be our recommended auditor for this year. So if there are questions, I'd be happy to answer them at this time. Okay, online, any questions?
Just seeing no questions, we will call for the vote. We'll start with the Zoom vote out. The motion is now on Zoom to appoint the auditors. We will now, if you are in favor and agree with the appointment of the auditors, please raise your hand and keep them held until we ask you to lower. Okay, you may lower your hands. The physical count, half of it is done. We will now close the Zoom audit or the Zoom motion. If anyone is opposed in-house, please raise your hand. Okay, there is no there, so we're waiting for the results to come in. Well, the results are in and it has passed. They have been resolved to be the chartered professional associates to be the appointed auditors again this year.
Okay, thank you.
And now we have our third.
Yes. So on behalf of your MCP team, that's Mission Center President team, and as your MCFO, which is Mission Center Finance Officer, I would move that the mission budget as for 2026 be approved as presented or as amended.
Do we have a second to this motion? Okay, I do see a second now. Yes, you may proceed.
Okay, thank you. So in your Express program, we have the detailed line items of all the budgets. And the proposed budget is in column 4 on that page, and it's titled 2026.
Troy, can you advance the
proposed
slide?
budget.
Troy, could you advance the slide for us? Just so they can see on screen the budget. Thank you.
Next page.
Thank you.
Next page.
One more.
There we go.
This first page is the income.
Okay. So if I may, I would just simply say a few words about the 2026 proposed budget. Again, drawing your attention to the 4th column of numbers. And the total budget that we are proposing for 2026 is $534,500. And this is $56,000 less than the 2024 or 2025 budget of $587,000. There is no change in total income or revenue expected from the operating accounts, which include congregational quotas, campground quotas, transfer from reserve, investment income, and shared service support. So the 195,100 is the same number as in the 2025 budget. And you will see in the 3rd column, the 2025 year-to-date actuals, which are to June 30th, is significantly on its way to the budget amount in 2025. So we feel confident that amount will also carry us into 2026. The big change is in the programs, and that is revenue that comes about because of registrations and fees charged for programs. And all that really indicates is a level of activity that we expect to have, and it gives your mission center president team the authority to operate within that. You will notice that we have expenditures for each program as well. So basically, there is a revenue portion of programs and an expenditure portion of programs. Again, as far as possible, we were able to highlight the level of revenue activity in each program listed there on the left-hand side of the page. And we've done so by campground and by activity. In terms of leadership development, we were recommending a small increase of $500, and that is in the marriage ministry area because we will need to do some work there. And the big change is actually a reduction, and that's in the growth and expansion, where we actually have a retirement of one of our missionaries, and we're going to be not having that as a cost or a recovery in 2026. If I may just go on to the expenditures. On the operating side, you will see no change. The expenditures for operating are the same at $171,850. All the line items there we expect to be able to sustain us next year. We do have an increase in program costs. Again, I would highlight that the revenues have also gone up to cover those costs by more than the 78,000. That's an increase there. And again, this is a level of activity. We expect to have more programs each year as we've come out of the pandemic, and we hope to give our MCP team permission to continue growing our programs. In terms of leadership development, there's an additional $10,000 there, and that is expected to be leadership and skills development and training. So we hope to have some budget to do that because part of that is in our programs. We need to have leadership and we need to do some training. In terms of growth and expansion, again, the role for field staff compensation is the key item from the one retirement that I referred to. So again, a change in budget of 56,000 less revenue and 56,000 less expenditures. And basically you'll see on the far right, that's 91% of the budget in 2025. At the bottom of the page, you will see funds available. These are funds that are on reserve. And at the end of June 2025, in column 4, you'll see at the very bottom of the page a number of $2,047,810. That's the values in those 4 investment accounts as are listed there. So I would offer that as my presentation and certainly take any questions. Okay.
The chair recognizes Jim Brown with a question. Come
You should come up to the mic.
on to the mic, Jim, so that those online are able to hear the question as well.
Hi, sorry this may be out of order, but I'm just wondering how the marriage affects this budget. Like if it's for 2026.
That is a very good question, and it's one we've had asked many times, and the answer is hopefully the same, that we are going to simply hold this budget as your program budget in 2026, even if you're together or you're not together. So the intent is, with your approval of this budget that's being considered here, that budget will hold in 2026. And actually, the question that came up in the pre-legislative, would it hold for 27? The answer is yes. So it's not our intent to change your budget. It's our intent to implement your budget as it gets approved today, and only change in future years based on merit if there's a need to change. Hopefully that answers your question. And just to add that that will be true for Canada West as well. Are there any other questions of clarity or questions or issues?
Okay, not seeing any other questions, we will call for a vote to this motion. I ask that the Zoom vote be opened. Yes. This is the vote to approve the budget. It is now open on Zoom online. Those in person, those that approve, yes, please raise your hands and keep them raised until we ask you to lower. Okay, you may lower your hands. Those opposed, please raise your hand. Okay, and here's how you voted. Okay, it looks like it was approved. Thank you very much, everyone.
You're welcome. And thank you very much. And are you having fun yet?
It is fun. Yay. Okay, this brings us to the next item on our agenda. Troy, we can't advance.
There you go.
Okay, here we go. We're all caught up. We're on the same page. At this time, a motion would be in order to approve the field organization proposal for Canada East Mission Center for Canada. The field organization proposal is put in front of you. And the chair recognizes Bryce Taylor from Gathering Place.
Thank you. The motion is has three resolves, and after I move it, if there is a second, I would like to speak to it. Thank you. Resolved that Canada East Mission Center desires to join with Canada West Mission Center as one Canada Mission Center, effective January 1st, 2026, upon approval by the appropriate governing bodies under the Community of Christ bylaws, and be it further resolved that the Canada East Mission Center supports their budget being subsumed into a Canada Mission Center budget, which shall be approved at a Canada Mission Center conference to be held before February 28th, 2026. And be it further resolved that Canada Mission Center supports the plan for Canada Mission Center leadership to be sustained at a Canada Mission Center conference to be held before February 28th, 2026.
Do we have a second for this motion? Yes, I see a second. Thank you. You may speak to it.
Okay, thank you very much. Basically, this motion is, really a very, you might call it earth-changing motion for the church. But we have talked about it and we have dialogued about it so well. This is my interest and some of my background is in community development. And part of community development that makes it work is if you can have a rich dialogue. And I think that we need to thank the leadership across Canada and in each of the missions for the dialogue that they've provided for us and the opportunity for some of us to actually be involved in the design and in the rollout of what is being proposed. And so I think that given that, and also given the fact that a Canadian church will speak from a Canadian culture, and I do really sense that we're a world church and we have a global responsibility in some respects. And so as part of that, a Canadian voice at a global conference such as our World Church Conference, I think is something that will add to that conference and add to that dialogue. So in a sense, I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to how this unrolls and unravels in some senses, but I'm looking forward to how this will strengthen the overall global church. And I could talk here all afternoon, so I think I'll just make those 2 points, and I'm certainly in favor of the motion.
Are there others that would like to speak to this motion?
Yes.
Okay, we will now hear from Ken Barrows.
Madam Chair, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, my name is Ken Barrows. I'm non-resident. Question of privilege that I had on several of the previous motions. We've not had a reading of the motion before the vote was called, which was fine. Everyone understood. The wording on this is so important that I feel we have, when it comes time to vote on the electronic side, that at least the number 6.1 field organization proposal for Canada can be included as what we're actually voting on. If they were ever to call back for any reason, we could go back to 6.1 in our minutes and read what 6.1 is if we're not going to read all of the resolves at this point. Just a question of privilege and input. I'm in favor of the motion.
Thank you, Ken. Would you like the motion to be reread or just at the time of voting?
I'm not indicating either one of those. What I'm indicating is that whatever we vote on, we want to make sure we're explicit in the way it's recorded. If we don't reread it all, that's fine. But the notes on the electronic side for those online, it should say 6.1 is the reference of what we're voting on right now, as opposed to voting to approve the proposal. It's 6.1 field organization proposal.
Okay, thank you for that observation. Okay, if there's no further discussion on this motion, then we are now voting on the motion 6.1 field organization proposal for Canada East Mission Center. Sorry. The Canada East Mission Center, Canada Mission Center creation. 6.1 is what we are going to vote on. I ask that the Zoom poll now be open. The Zoom poll is now open. Though in person, those that approve 6.1, please raise your hands and keep your hands up until we ask you to lower them. Okay, thank you. You may lower your cards. All those opposed, please raise your hands. Okay, thank you. The Zoom online is closed. And here is how you voted. Okay, I think we have our results. It has been pointed out as that vote was being taken, without objection, we would like to state that under 6.1 field organization proposal for Canada East Mission Center, Canada Mission Center creation, under the first resolve, that it should be that Canada East Mission Center supports a plan for Canada Mission Center leadership to be, that's the third resolve. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong. Okay, sorry. The third resolve stated that Canada Mission Center supports, it should be the Canada East Mission Center supports a plan for Canada Mission Center leadership to be sustained. at a Canadian Mission Center conference to be held before February 28th. The word east had been eliminated out of the printed resolve. So without objection, we will make a correction in the minutes. Okay, there we go. The next thing we have on our agenda, I will hand the chair back over to Vonda.
Thank you. Thank you for your attention and for your vision and for your trust in the future. Good job. Thank you. We do have, how are we on time? 3:33? Ron Rowbottom is prepared to bring a report from the Canada Corporation Board. Where did Ron go? There he is. Do you want to come here?
I can do it right here.
All right.
People can look at my back.
Okay. And I believe you had some slides?
Yes, everything I'm saying is going to be on the slides so that anybody watching has a chance in that be able to see it. And because this is, to my recollection, this is the first time we've had an actual report from the Canada Community of Christ Board of Directors that's been submitted. So in looking at the Canada Board of Directors, and I'll get Troy to move slides with me. The Canada Board of Directors exists in compliance with the Canadian regulations as a registered not-for-profit corporation in Canada. The board functions as the corporate management organization to oversee policies and actions of the church in Canada. The board directors are authorized to conduct business on behalf of the church in conjunction with the theological and governing policies and procedures of World Church established through the standard practices of World Conference actions. The Canada Board is subject to the membership of the Church in Canada, and in cooperation with World Church leadership, policies and directions of the Board do not remove World Church policies, but allows the Church in Canada to work collectively with World Church leadership to meet specific needs and requirements under the laws and practices in the country. Over the past 2 years, the Canada Board has taken a more active role regarding the corporate management of the Church in Canada, not as a national church separate from World Church, but as an integral part of the World Church in the life of the Church in Canada. To enhance the visibility of the Canada Board, several actions have been undertaken to create a more open transparency of board activities. A website's been created, and all of our approved policies, activities, financial reports are being posted on that website. These are open for church members to view and to provide a means for members to ask questions resulting from those documents. The website will be expanded and grow to be a repository for easy access to all pertinent information. As this evolves, the website name is up there, and Alejandro has been sharing that through sendouts. To date, there have been several actions taken by the board, and I'm going to list them here as a summary of what's occurring and what will be posted on the web page. The board now meets 4 times a year and consists of 8 members, the names of which are posted on the website. Currently, board members are elected under the current bylaws by the founding members. That's why you've never seen an election at the conferences. A committee has been established and working on the current bylaws to update these to better reflect the inclusion of the wider membership of the community in Christ in Canada regarding election of board members, as well as other bylaws regarding the operation of the church in Canada. These changes are being developed with the input and acceptance of World Church leadership. I want to give special thanks to the Bylaw Committee who have been working diligently, Lou Shepardson, Bryce Taylor, George Hybricks, Daryl Kennedy. A new position on the board has also been recently established to oversee government and related this area under the direction of Joan Thompson. The board established a Business Services Committee in 2022 to undertake the task of rewriting and formatting policies for approval of the board, and that committee meets 4 times per year ahead of each board meeting to report to the board for approval of documents, etc. To date, 7 policies have been updated and approved by the board, covering things like budget, external audit, net proceeds policy, risk management, endowment and spending, debt, capital policies. Policies that were on discussion for the meeting that occurred last week and were approved deal with signing authority in banking and our registered, what was called our Registered Youth Program Workers Program policy. These policies slated for review or development are going to be on intellectual property and copyright, legislation and regulatory affairs, technology and social media protocols, loans and grants. In addition, the employee handbook and employee policies are being formulated and reviewed by an external HR consultant to finalize. A major change that's taken place this past year, I'm going to kind of wrap this one quicker. We have moved from the global US insurance policies to a Canadian insurance policies. We were able to move all our policies up in December of last year, except for the policies on general liability and abuse. We could not get Canadian insurance on those 2 areas. We will be negotiating them now this fall. One of the general liability, we had an issue with government, with CRA, because they thought we had employees working in the Philippines and Haiti that were employees of Canada. Sam has corrected that with them, and so now we will be able to get a report from CRA that allows general liability. Biggest change we made this year for our property is we did change, we managed to keep our property overall insurance and directors and officers at less than 3%. But the big change is our deductible now for any occurrence that occurs in Canada has gone from $650,000 that we would have to pay down to $250,000 per occurrence as a deductible. For liability, we're looking at moving, right now we have a $750,000. We'll be moving that down to $250,000 to cover directors and employee liability. In addition, under our D&O, we've been able to expand coverage, which was just for paid staff, now covers all priesthood and volunteers on church programs, so that they are covered under the protection of the directors and officers insurance. We were unable, of course, I talked about weren't able to move the general liability. The other area is abuse, and this is one that you're going to be hearing about because we passed it last week. The obstacle we had here is that the government in Canada and our insurance companies would not recognize our registered youth worker program. It did not meet the requirements, both legislative or regulatory wise or insurance wise. A committee was established to write a new registered program covering the areas of youth, seniors, and vulnerable populations. That policy was submitted to the board and approved last week. Our next steps is we now have a policy that says we will be covering all those areas. Our next steps is we need a new training program. We have now contracted with an outside training company out of Toronto who works in the area of doing these for hospitals, nonprofit groups, etc. And they will be developing a new training program. which will be rolling out the first part of next year. We want to have it in place so that Vonda has a trained staff for camps, programs, etc. The biggest change is we will be required for all priesthood in Canada will have to take the training program as part of their priesthood in order to be covered under the law. I want to give special thanks to Scott Baker, John Abbey, Caitlin Ball, and Leah Christensen, who acted as the committee, who worked on this over the summer or spring and summer with the input from Vonda Denbar. In line with this, one other activity that we will be starting and you're going to be asked to participate in is one of the deficiencies that's been highlighted both on our current insurance policy negotiations and on annual audits is we do not have a professional listing of values for the church's tangible assets of property and content. Business committee last week has set up passed a motion, and Sam will be working on getting an outside company to perform an actual audit of all of our properties and assets across Canada over 25 and 26. Canada Board of Directors is moving in a structured manner to bring the board in line with accountability to the membership of the church in Canada through the board's action in the development of the Canada Church Strategic Plan. If there are any questions, please feel free to contact Sam Smalden as the bishop or myself as the chairperson of the Community of Christ Canada Board of Directors. That is my report.
Thank you, Ron. This room is filled with people who are instrumental in the success of our activities, in our congregations, in our camps, in our communities. Please, please say thank you to pastors, camp leaders, camp directors, camp cooks, camp medical staff, communications team, like all of the people that are instrumental. But I especially would like to say thank you to Nancy and Stacy Brookshaw, who have for the last 3 years been instrumental in our camping programs and the leadership of those programs. And their insight is invaluable, and they continue to provide leadership in many ways. There is a camping schedule in the full program. Someone has raised a hand. We're just going to see who it is and what the need is. Daryl, do you want to talk in my ear or do you want to address the body?
I want to address the body.
Okay, go ahead.
In the report that was mentioned, there was a list of names for the bylaws committee, and Joan Thompson's name was left off of that.
Thank you. It was mentioned in the room, but you may not have caught it because it wasn't on the microphone. Thank you. We'll make sure that that is reflected in the minutes. In your bulletin, there is a camping schedule, and there is a camping summit taking place next Sunday afternoon. And if you would like to be a part of that, please let me know. I've extended an invitation to camp leaders and directors. I want to thank you for acknowledging Carrie Richards. He's not here with us, but we have a card that we will make sure gets to him as he is retiring from church employment. And much of what Carrie has done in the last couple of years has been behind the scenes. You haven't known the things that he's done. So when you see Carrie, tell him thank you. Tell him thank you for the things that he has done that you may not see the fruits of for a year or 2 or 3. So thank you. And lastly, Dawn and I want to recognize Mary Jean, who last October gave Art notice that she would not continue on the leadership team, that she was retiring as of the next conference. And so Dawn and I will continue as mission presidents until the next conference that takes place in January or February. But we want to extend our appreciation to Mary Jean. When Art asked us to take on the role of mission presidents, first of all, I don't think we knew what we were getting into. But we also really didn't know one another. I knew Mary Jean from years past. I didn't know Dawn at all. I could have, passed her in the hallway and wouldn't have known her. And I want to affirm the work of the Spirit, because we have worked together as a team. We have different skills, different interests, but we have worked as a team, helping one another. And where one might not be interested or might not have the skill, one of the other two did. And so I don't know how we're going to do this, Dawn and I, but we're going to try. But those of you that know Mary Jean know that she loves to drum. And I found a book called The Heartbeat Drum. And so we're giving that to Mary Jean as our thank you. And there's some words written inside by a few people. So that is our way of saying thank you and honoring her passion. And so I would just ask you to acknowledge people in the room, Mary Jean, Carrie, with standing and applauding. I thought it was done, but I see that there are some announcements here. I will.
I just wanted to take a moment of privilege to actually thank all 3 of you. Having been a volunteer mission center president, it is not an easy job at all. And your generosity of your time and your talents do not go unnoticed by myself and other leaders. And so I just want to thank you sincerely on behalf of myself and Locke and on behalf of everyone for your service and your servanthood in this role. And I know it's not quite done yet, but I also want to make sure that at this conference we acknowledge the the sacrificial ministry that you have offered in order to get us through this time of transition. So thank you, all 3 of you.
Yeah, I have to agree with Vonda that we didn't know each other when we first started. But once we got to know each other, my anxiety decreased immensely. And it's been an amazing team to work on. I promised myself I wouldn't cry. It's been amazing. And I've really appreciated and admired working with Dawn and Vonda. They're both very skilled and very committed and just amazing. I had so many other things I wanted to say. I don't remember what they are. I think what I wanted to say was that it's just been a privilege to be able to share in this role. And I have received so much from all of you, not just the leaders, not just this team that I worked closely with, but with all the staff and with all of the leaders, the great leaders that we are blessed with in Community of Christ Canada East Mission. We really are blessed. And you really have given me a lot. So I'm extremely grateful for all of that. I didn't grow up in a home like Locke talked about last night. And so when I feel this, the blessings of this community, it's extremely meaningful to me. And so I've appreciated that very, very much. There are some things that I won't miss. I'm not going to miss a lot of meetings and sitting in front of the computer for hours, and the to-do list that grows immensely after every meeting. But I am going to enjoy having more time for gardening and for drumming and for arts and crafts and things like that, but also for building on relationships with others outside of Community of Christ. And I found, in my experience, when I worked for the church, it was really difficult to have time to even meet anybody outside of Community of Christ because all of my friends were here. And so now I'm beginning to get those communities and bridge some connections with them. And so I'm looking forward to having more time for that. Thank you for all that you've given me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I am going to declare the conference adjourned. And I can tell by Melissa that there's some announcements. Go ahead.
Part of the being in person requires our cleanup and KP. And everybody was asked to do one thing, but there are still quite a few blanks for tomorrow breakfast. So anybody that hasn't signed up that can do breakfast, that would be great. And there's also quite a few on the orange sheet, which is our all camp cleanup. Tomorrow morning when we come for service, we would like the team to, us as the team would like to have 95% of all the cleaning done so that as we end our worship, we don't have to spend hours trying to do that. And all the jobs have been done into bite-sized pieces. So if you have time and you're staying over and haven't signed up or could do a second job, I would really appreciate it because I don't want to stay till 11 o'clock tomorrow night cleaning. And neither does Vonda or anybody else on the team. So if you could kindly sign up, then we'll know that it's taken care of. And if there's any extra help needed, people can join in. So that's one of our major cleanups that has to happen. And then we don't have to worry about it past tonight, knowing that it will be taken care of. So that plan is you clean up your own place plus your one little job that you said you'd help with. So that's a major thing that's missing. And as people I know are leaving tonight, if you'll leave me your name tags and if you didn't get a chance for e-transfer offering, we can take care of that too. And the keychains, there's 15 left, I think, for Toronto of the keychains. So if you want to see me, there are some still. And that was kind of the wrap up of things that I needed to do. So okay. I don't think there's any other except. Sure. Carol would like to make an announcement.
Oh, okay. I do want to acknowledge the people that are online. We're going to be saying goodbye to them very shortly. So go ahead, Carol.
Okay. I found a number 2 crochet hook when I was sweeping after lunch under the table. And I've asked everyone that I know that crochets, and nobody says it belongs to them, but I know you're out there. So anyway, if you're missing a number 2 crochet hook, I have it.
Thank you, Carol. For those of you on Zoom, we hope you stay with us, and Leandro is going to share with us Celebrate Mission, but I think we need like a little break before that happens. And then supper is planned for 5:30 and music bingo at 7. And we're going to sing a song. Will we do that? Yes. Okay, 649, With a Steadfast Faith. Let's sing that, stand up to sing it, and then we'll take a 10-minute break while Leandro gets set up. Thank you. We'll see you in 10 minutes.